live coverage of the Mountain Dew 500 from Hickory, North Carolina.
Hello, everyone. Cousin Kale here at the inaugural Jack Ingram 111 here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
The Z-Max Car Store comes to Hickory Motor Speedway.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hickory on a beautiful 80-degree Easter Saturday. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet. Steve Grissom leads them down the green with Earnhardt alongside.
It's a sizzling Saturday night at the Hickory Motor Speedway.
A tricky little dish composed mostly of hard left turns, but with enough straights to eliminate the tourists.
For Glenn Jarrett and Neil Bonnet, Mike Joy congratulating Tommy Houston on a great victory here at his home track, Hickory.
Off turn 2, it's a freight train of late models thundering down the back straightaway of America's most famous short track.
The real key to Hickory is how well you have the car getting up off the corner here. You have to handle well.
On a blustery afternoon in Hickory, North Carolina, you are looking at one of America's most famous short tracks, the birthplace of NASCAR stars. This is the Hickory Motor Speedway.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to America's Most Famous Podcast. Back again for another episode. I'm Bryson Davis with cousin Kel Lineberger. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, not a whole lot. Just enjoying this hot, muggy weather here in the Catawba Valley, that's for sure.
You got that right. It is. It has been one hot Monday out here. That North Carolina weather for sure. As we're moving towards the end of June, up into July, just getting started. Really, it's going to be a hot couple of months, but. As we saw Saturday night, that puts on some good racing when these guys have to fight the warm weather. So slick conditions out there for those drivers, but some great racing. We want to thank Priority Electric and Lighting. Greg and the guys over there, they do a great job. They will meet your project with the speed and precision of a championship crew. They're great partners of Hickory Motor Speedway and America's Most Famous Podcast. You can find them at Priority and electricandlighting.com. And let them light up your next project. So thank Greg and the guys for helping us out. We'll get things started with our race recap, Kel, starting in the Renegades. Steve Smart, no surprise, another win for him with Jordan Cook finishing second. Matthew Chambers in another solid performance, finishing P3.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. All three of those guys, as you said, Steve, he's had a phenomenal year in that division, as well as Jordan Cook. Jordan coming off a win just a few weeks ago. But how about Matthew Chambers? He is consistently finishing up front. Again, that's one of the bigger fields of Renegades we've had all season so far. Welcome to a few familiar faces back. But Matthew Chambers getting it done with a full field. So I think those guys they're learning, they're going places, and they're really putting together a good season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Put on a great race for sure, as did the Super Trucks. We had Charlie Neal back at the track. He qualified on the pole, but good to see him back. Had a great field of Super Trucks. Zach Mullins running back there as well with Dwayne Cook, Josh Goebel, some regulars. Tim Dale got a podium finish, which was pretty cool to see. Some good running out of those guys. Ricky Denny finishing second with a solid points night, and Michael Bumgarner back in the number 88 truck for Jamie Johnson and those guys, and pulling out the win. So a couple of wins for Michael Bumgarner. This was his second, I guess, as the running order went, but good to see him back in the truck and put on a show for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely showing that 88 trucks. It's a good running truck. They've got their stuff together now. I know, kind of, I'd say the Heartbreaker Award definitely goes to the two truck, the CNK Body Shop car of Charlie Neal. Talked to him during pre-race, and he was pretty excited. You know, he had a new PRW front clip put on that truck, and that thing was wicked fast in qualifying. And hadn't had a chance to talk with him yet this week, but something definitely went sideways for that team. Not sure if that was him that oiled down or somebody else, but got sideways, backed it into the wall over there in turn 3, but didn't look like it tore it up too bad. So hopefully we'll definitely see him back in action soon. But man, what a fast race truck!
Yeah, no doubt about it, for sure. And yeah, that was tough to see. Anybody's not in like that, but after such a good performance, that was certainly a heartbreaker. The Street Stocks put on another great show. John Reynolds qualified on the pole, won the race with Marshall Sutton crawling up through the field from fifth to finish in second. A solid night for him and Old Faithful in the Monte Carlo, and then Trey Buff, another good night for him as well, finishing in third in his number 48.
Yeah, Trey Buff, we had him on the show last week. Man, he's always just so excited to be there. It's a family affair for he and his team, and I think they're going to start winning some races here soon. They're really clicking it off in qualifying. They've got that down pat. Just got to figure out how to get it to handle a little better. I feel like at the end of the races, and but he's still getting those podium finishes, finishing right up front. So he's doing the things he needs to do in order to put a season together. But look for more great things from them. Marshall Sutton, what do you can you say about that rascal? Man, he just it's like I was saying the other night. He's almost kind of reminds you of the Silver Fox, David Pearson. He might not be at the front when they start the race, but man, he's gonna show up there at the end. And what a phenomenal season the 55 has been having. Man, he's knocking down wins. He never won at Hickory, I believe, according to his son earlier in the season. But man, he's been able to put it together and get those finishes this season just back to back.
Yeah, and you talk about drivers coming from the back and being present at the end. I think the same case can be made for Graham Holler in the limited. He made the jump down from the late model to the limited, and good racing up through the field. Graham didn't qualify on the pole, but he finished the race where you want to be at the very end, and that's up front. So great racing from him. Aiden King, another solid night. Didn't get four in a row, but after three in a row, I'd say second place is not too bad. As the consistency continues from Aiden, and then Chase Pollard from Taylorsville coming back to Hickory in another solid night. That's the top three.
Yeah, I felt like that was one of the better races of the night. A little bit of beating and banging there through it, and of course, it being a 50-lap Paramount Kia Big Ten Challenge race, you get a little bit more tire wear, a little bit longer race. I'm sure fatigue for some of those guys could sneak up in there a little bit as that one wears on a little bit more. But great finish by all those guys. Again, Graham Holler making a step down, getting that win. Definitely big kudos to Chase Pollard and those guys. They're always a threat to win anytime they come to Hickory, but hadn't raced a whole lot with us this season. So and pick a tricky weekend with the way the weather was. Again, as hot and humid as it was. That's usually when some of those guys are trying to chase the setups around. So what a finish for him driving up through the field.
Yeah, for sure. Moving into the late models, had twin 40 races for them. Michael Bumgarner winning the first race, coming from fourth, I believe, in the first race. Elio Meza for NPR, finishing second. Billy Snodgrass finished third. A couple of new names. Silas Ripley was there, along with Brad Means coming to Hickory. So great to see some of those drivers. A good race in the first one. Then Michael drew the 8-car invert. There were 13 cars total in that race. 8 cars were inverted, and after the second one, Blayne Harrison, in dominating fashion, he was involved in an incident in the first race that he called just a racing incident, but certainly a heartbreaker. Got the car fixed and put on a dominant show in that second race.
Yeah, it looks like he had a little bit of damage. We were hoping, I know from our vantage point in the booth between he and the 19, that neither one of them were hurt too bad, and seemed like they were able to get their stuff together. Both cars had a great second race, worked out pretty good for them. But Blayne Harrison, man, he had a rocket ship in race number 2. He's able to get back out front and just kind of steadily pull away from the field. Didn't really have a whole lot of trouble and just had to mind his P's and Q's. But man, what a ride for him.
Yep, as one of the only Fords in the field, he put on a great show, and we're going to speak with him here in just a moment. Blayne Harrison coming up in the guest segment on America's Most Famous Podcast.
When the lights shine bright on a race night at Hickory Motor Speedway, there's one name powering the action, and that's Priority Electric. Whether it's your home business or your favorite short track, Priority Electric delivers top-tier service with the speed and precision of a championship crew. They're proud supporters of local racing and the legends of tomorrow. Priority Electric, they're charging up the community one connection at a time. You can call them today at 828-525-0216 or visit PriorityElectricandLighting.com and let Priority Electric light up your next project.
Hello, race fans. Welcome back to our next segment here on America's Most Famous Podcast, where we're here with Blayne Harrison, driver of the number 7 Ford Mustang. Blayne, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, man, it's a good hot muggy Monday. How about yourself?
Sweating and working a little bit.
Now, that's something we always kind of like to ask some of the drivers and stuff. Obviously, you had a great weekend at Hickory Motor Speedway getting another win, but tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into the race this weekend. Tell us a little bit what do you do during the week, and what do how'd you get started in racing?
Well, I got started racing when I was about 4 years old on dirt bikes, and I raced dirt bikes on until I was about 6 or 7, 7, and then I started racing bandos, and from there on it's been about four wheels, bandos, then like a Charger slash street stock class, then limited, and now I'm here on the late model.
Man, that's pretty cool. I think something that always interests us is your background because everybody's kind of got a different background, and I think it's pretty cool. There's surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but I guess more than you would think, NASCAR drivers that have come through and started out on the dirt bike. So, talk a little bit about that. How'd you get started and involved in that?
Well, my dad, he always rode dirt bikes growing up, just like trail riding and stuff. And when I was turned about 3, he went and got me a little TTR 50 with a Yamaha TTR 50 with training wheels. And from then on, it was just game on. I just enjoyed it. But who really got us into racing was, Zach Osborne that runs Supercross and motocross and stuff like that
Okay,
professionally.
yeah, yep,
So his dad, Mark Osborne's from our area, and Mark talked to my dad, and we got into racing. But one weekend we actually weren't supposed to go racing. We were supposed to go trail riding at this place called Hot Summer Nights in Gray, Tennessee,
yep.
and we were supposed to go trail ride, and we got there, and it turned out the trails were shut down, and all they had going on was motocross. And Dad ended up, I talked him into letting me race, and it was pretty much game on from then.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So, what's you ran some bandos? Where all did you take the bando to?
I ran a little bit at Atlanta, like the Thursday Thunder deal, and then I
Yeah.
took it to Lonesome Pine, whereas really I raced literally half of my life was at Lonesome Pine, and I started out the bandos there. They had them for 2 years, and I won the championship both years in a row. And Lonesome Pine shut down. We took us about a year break, and Dad bought a limited car, and we just started testing.
So tell us a little bit about that. You've been racing at Hickory kind of off and on here for the last little while. Where all else have you raced a late model asphalt car?
Well, late model stock or limited or both.
Just you can kind of go a little bit with both because I know the cars are fairly similar.
Yeah, so when I ran limited, I ran the Jeff Myers Touring Limited Series Southeast Super Trucks.
Yeah.
So I ran that series at Anderson, Lonesome Pine, Motor Mile, Hickory, Tri County, and I ran the limited race when Wilkesboro first opened up. I ran a full late model season at Motor Mile Speedway in 22 in the late model stock. I ran a full season at Lonesome Pine and limited in 21. And 23, I started out in the Jeff Meyer series in the Southeast Super Trucks. And then I ended up running the late model stock at Lonesome Pine and won the championship there in 23 and just traveled around on our own terms at the end of that year. And last year we started out with Chad Bryant Racing and just kind of bounced around on our own terms with weekly series stuff. Started out at Hickory, ran a little bit at Hickory, ran some Tri County, ran Lonesome Pine some, ran Martinsville, went and ran a race at Anderson. Just kind of bounced around on our own terms, played around, and did what we could between switching teams and stuff like that. So now we're pretty well just gaining experience for maybe some cars tour next year, and just getting all dialed in with our WRC group and just building relationship and notebooks, pretty much.
So talk a little bit about that. You guys have been doing quite well this season. Again,
Mm-hmm.
one of the only Mustangs in the field on a weekly basis. But you guys have really been making some leaps and bounds, finishing up front every week, getting your second win this past week. Man, tell us what that was like, and what you've had to kind of changes you guys have had to make, and what's had to happen this year in order to be successful.
Well, last year we actually started my relationship with Eric Wilson, Ty Worley, and Brent Johnson and Dylan Wilson. I met them through the Chad Bryant deal, and I kind of ventured off at the end of last year doing my own stuff with the Hedgecock Racing Group, and just kind of off their coattails. And then I started running. This year we started off with Eric and the guys, and really we just kind of been like a family, man. We all click together well. It's nothing but greatness and all good stuff going on there, and we just keep our nose to the grindstone and keep digging.
Well, it's been pretty incredible to watch. I mean, watch you guys find success this year, and especially on Saturday night. Probably one of the toughest fields. You were involved in an early race incident in that first race. Coming out in the second race, though, you were super fast, and we knew you had a fast car. Qualified pretty good, and then moving up into the first race, just kind of an unfortunate break. But walk us through that, and how do you take a first race that maybe doesn't necessarily go your way and channel, you know, your ability to win the race into that second race? How do you move that over? And I mean, you won the race by it would seem like half a lap or more. So walk us through your Saturday night just a little bit.
So we started out morning practice. We were pretty free. The track was hot and greasy, good old slick hickory, and so we made a couple adjustments. And after we made our adjustments, we went into first practice, and we bolted on some tires, and we were fastest in the first practice. We sat out the second practice because we didn't want to over adjust ourselves, and I'm glad we did that. Went out qualified a P2 with like an 84, and the 27 are in like an 80. So that was pretty neck and neck. It's always close qualifying in this late model stock car. It's always tight. And we went to started the first race, and it started out pretty aggressive. It's always pretty tight and pretty close racing at that 27. He and I are like magnets, and we just always find each other. And there was definitely some displeasure in the beginning of it from some good old nose chopping and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's just how racing is. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. That's just welcome to it. And we added that 19 to the bunch, and I came down a little bit, he came up, and it was just a racing deal that happened. So uh, I wouldn't say heavy damage, but gained some sustainable, pretty decent damage, and we brought it in, fixed up what we could, and limped home like a P7 and saved our stuff, and brought it in, we fixed it, and I mean, I knew we had a hot rod in the first race, but it was just a whole different animal in that second race.
So you say, like in race number 2, the car actually came around. Obviously the sun had set, track started cooling off. It seemed like it must have worked out good for you guys in the race car.
Yeah, just everything clicked. We just good clean racing to start out, and we were able to stay up front, and kind of when we were out front, we kind of managed our own race. We were able to conserve our tires when everybody else is burning theirs up racing back there, and we were just able to save our stuff for if there was a late race caution, or just to keep pushing at the end like we did. I mean, it was just everything went right in that second race.
Yeah, I think that's well, it was fun to watch, but there's always an opportunity in things that don't seem to go your way. Sometimes you can find an opportunity and move into that second race, get things fixed up, and have success like you guys did. So certainly put on an entertaining show. I know the fans loved it. Great field of cars, and yeah, you guys put on a show.
I know
Yeah, I
that you
mean,
said. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask. So I know you said something about maybe going and doing some cars tour racing next season.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any plans? I always like to ask this, especially if our weekly guys, possibly try to run or qualify for the Throwback Classic, or do any cars tour? Maybe dabble your feet in the water of that any this season.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely for sure we're gonna try and dabble our feet into it. We try and play it week by week, just see how things play out and how schedules lay out. But it's about a 50-50 on going to qualify for the throwback race. But man, that'd definitely be a cool event to be a part of. I mean, what is it right now? The richest late model stock race in history right now.
Yep.
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 So I mean, that'd be pretty cool to be a part of, without a doubt. Especially going for that 50, and I feel like we got a pretty good package right now. So I mean, definitely like to give it a shot at least.
Yeah. Well, and guys like you, I mean, you've been running at Hickory weekly, and I mean that obviously gives you a huge advantage going into a track where some of these guys are going to spend their day trying to figure the place out. You guys can kind of show up, and you already kind of know what to expect, and you know how to set the car up. So I already see an advantage for you guys in coming out.
Yeah, trying to. That's definitely an advantage that I've always looked for, that I never really had, because I mean, where we race, the car store never came, and when we go to a touring race or come to a weekly race with you guys, I mean, it's everybody's already got it all figured out, and trying to figure out, it's a different ball game. So being there to fine tune when everybody else is just trying to figure the place out is definitely a plus.
Well, I'll definitely look forward to that, and I look forward to seeing you guys dabble your foot in that. Of course, we love having you at America's most famous short track, but kind of like I don't know. My girlfriend's a teacher. She said it's hard for her to watch her kids, go to the next grade and stuff. And I'm not
Hmm.
gonna lie, I feel that way kind of about whenever our drivers, come and cut their teeth at Hickory and then start, going and doing something else. And but I love to see it because it means everybody's growing and the sport is too. So.
Hmm.
It's one of the things you can always expect us to be pulling for you.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate that, but I mean, Hickory is just so prestigious, and there's so much that I've learned from Hickory. I mean, it's a tough place to get around. I mean, the characteristics of that place. I mean, there's always a certain groove. There's certain ways to run that place. I mean, but you can run it so many different ways. I mean, that place is definitely an animal to get a hold of. But I mean, I've had nothing but a blast and enjoyed every second of enjoyment and learning from that place. And I'm excited to keep learning. And you won't see me leaving Hickory anytime soon. I mean, it's managed well, and a lot of the racers have respect. Like especially Michael and I. We've been able to race pretty close together, and we've raced good together. And it's always an enjoyment to race with people like Michael.
Yeah, I think it's cool to hear you say that too, because, you know, and Kel and I talk about this a lot, but especially Saturday night. I mean, uh, there was hard racing, a lot of, see, even some bumping and banging, but you guys have this respect for each other, and, you know, it's all, as you said earlier about your incident, it's a racing deal, and, you know your competitors well, and, there's how things are going to be ran and the consistency with that. So, to us that continues the excitement in the show. But it's pretty cool to hear you say that, and just the respect that you guys have for each other, and that certainly is reflected into the racing on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be, the way I was raised racing. There's always going to be give and take for the sport, and at the end of the day, I mean, it ain't worth it wrecking for a fourth place when you can come back and rebuild for the next week and have respect built on your name, and have respect for others, and others have respect for you. So when it does come down to racing for that win, you can guarantee on a hard fought battle, but not wrecking for it.
Well, Blayne, it's been great having you on the show this week. I look forward to seeing you. I assume you're going to be running with us the next few weeks at the 75th annual birthday bash, as well as the Jack Ingram.
Mm-hmm. I believe you'll see us there.
Well, man, I'm so excited and looking forward to it. That's Blayne Harrison here on America's Most Famous Podcast, right here.
So that's our conversation with Blayne Harrison, and pretty good conversation with a young driver. Is running a lot of laps at Hickory this year. He's talks about his racing history, racing the dirt bikes into the bandos, and just all over the place where all he's been. But has put on a pretty impressive season so far at Hickory, I would say, Kel.
Yeah, he's really been putting it together. One of the things that's interested in his conversation is started out in the bandos on asphalt, Another one of those ones that started out with dirt bikes, and that's something we've been kind of seeing a little bit more of. The more in depth we get to talk to some of these guys, but uh, they're one of those teams that and it's something I love to see. They may not have it figured out the first week, when we open up in March, usually first or second weekend in March at Hickory, but they've been getting better and more consistent each and every week. This is his second win of the season, so he has tasted Heritage Finance victory lane once already. But as we like to say, you get one or two, the rest of them kind of start coming. So I know there's a bunch of people that think that Michael Bumgarner's already got the championship sewn up. We get into playoff time this year that may have a little bit of challenge. Just kind of depends on how things work out.
I think you're exactly right. And for the fans, this is just one more reason to follow the weekly series at Hickory because it's going to be a great show. And he talks about, the respect that he has with Michael and that he loves racing with him. And I think that's pretty cool for a young racer to come out and say, just the way that he respects his competitors and respects the track and, just really appreciates all that goes on. I think that was probably something that I noticed from our conversation, I thought was a pretty neat thing. And, he's a great racer, been putting on some good racing, and certainly excited to see where that seven crew can take it from here.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be nothing but up for them. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Talk to him a little bit. Hopefully, maybe even see him at the Throwback Classic here in a few months in the month of August. So, lots of great things happening for Blayne Harrison. Definitely a very good, respectable young man. Look forward to a lot of great things from him in the future.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to have another good race this weekend, and for us, it's really exciting because kind of a big night for us.
Yep, we're going to be celebrating 75 years of bringing short track racing to the Catawba County and surrounding areas. Started out as a dirt oval and then moved into a paved oval in 1968, if my memory serves me right. Last paved in 1992. Lots of history there. Lots of people, have come through the ranks. We got people that's made it all the way to the national level that's won championships there. You've got Ralph Earnhardt winning 5 in a row, had a bounty on him. Handsome Harry Gant, former champion there, as well as went to the national level. Josh Berry, probably one of the most recent ones. Won track championships at Hickory and has moved on into the Cup Series now. You look at the wall of people that have won championships there and raced there in general. I know I've been seeing some stuff on social media in the last couple weeks saying that they need to nominate Tommy Houston for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I think that's a fantastic idea
Yep.
because nobody, I would dare say, means any more to the Busch Series and the history of that than Tommy. And Tommy has won a caboodle wad of races at Hickory. And
Yeah.
and the Houston family, they're embedded, they're ingrained into the sport.
Yeah.
So 75 years of history at Hickory. I'm not gonna say that I'm not proud to be a part of it myself. My
Yeah.
dad raced at Hickory when it was dirt and asphalt back in the 60s, and now I get to be here to call races with you every week. And to say that I am blessed and excited about it is an understatement. To be a part of such a historic racetrack and the time that I've been here.
Yeah, I mean, you start talking about names like Earnhardt and Gant and Houston and Jarrett and all of these guys that have come through the place. I mean, I will never forget my first race at Hickory. There's just something about it. Obviously, it's my home track. It's just up the road from where I'm at in Taylorsville, and I love the place to death. There's so much history, so much character within the track, and the racing is great. And yeah, it just it makes me feel very grateful to just have the opportunity. I mean, I'm thankful. Never in a million years would I have ever guessed that I would get to have the opportunity to call races, but not only call races, but call them at Hickory. And I'm grateful for Kevin Piercy and him giving me the opportunity because I when I started working at Hickory, I worked the crossover gate. I mean, some people probably know that. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but that was my deal. And I was like, man, the guys that have the most fun around here might be the drivers, but it's probably Kel and Jason up there in the booth. They're probably having the most fun out of anybody here. And I thought if I could just get in there somehow. And it worked out. The good Lord above worked it out. And, Kevin gave me a great opportunity. And like I said, such a historic moment. 75 years, and I think she's got 75 more in her. As long as I'll be around, I'll do everything I can to make sure that that place is still putting on good racing, whether that be through us promoting it in a podcast or commentating the race. I love being there. I love everything about it. And I'm just excited about it. So this Saturday night, come out to Hickory Motor Speedway. Qualifying will start at 5 o'clock, and of course, practice is going on throughout the day, and the racing starting at 7. Jim Evans is going to do his pre-race chapel service at 6:30, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you come out, come say hey to us, and we'll give you a free tour the best we can. And so just thank you for being there and supporting great racing. So, Kale, thanks again for doing this podcast, and we will see you at the track on Saturday.